1025. Okay, save. All right. Confirm. Processing. Your site is ready to launch. Go to my site. Is it up? Public. Save. All right. Tyler, could you do me a favor? Go to votenino.com.
Oh, wow. This is amazing.
Yep. Okay. All right. It's all like working for you and shit. We had to like quick launch this because
the I mean all the text is there. The pictures aren't resizing, but yeah, I see it.
Oh my god.
Full screen.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, we're gonna have to I think between us I think I busted something, but wait, edit. All right, site is up. Wait, let me just let my, give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna let my guy know. All right, easy. All right. All right. All right, Mr. Tyler. Sorry for you know, for delaying this by like 2 days or whatever.
Oh no, I'm not in a rush. I actually just started taking notes today. I mean, I've only been on duty for an hour and a half, but like I mean, even just in an hour and a half, what I've seen, it's kind of like I don't know. I don't even know if this is the right place or time to have this conversation of things I'm seeing, or if you ever even want to hear it.
Yeah, no, I want to hear everything, to be honest. I've been trying to reach out to as many offices as possible. I think my biggest challenge has been look, I'm gonna be transparent with you. My how do I put this? I was my first couple of interactions with the police department were at best described as like bad faith. And I'm setting the tone here to get you to kind of at least try to understand my side of things, right? I just wanted to get documentation to represent my client. That's it. And I was pretty much told to eat a dick in, you know, in 45-minute speeches. And ultimately the only thing that came out of that was one of the dispatchers at Mission Row being targeted further after she had her SIM card rifled through illegally, and then that entire thing was brushed aside. So I decided to play the game back and have since gotten a lot of things changed. And I'm not here to destroy the police department. That would just be brain dead, for lack of a better word. But what I do want to see is the Los Santos Police Department succeed with higher quality officers and more focus on letting y'all close out a situation as opposed to go to every single call that pops up on dispatch. And I think while that might sound simple, I think that's really the basics of what I think that's a big root cause for a lot of the issues y'all are hitting right now. But I want to hear from you, not just the thoughts on what I just said, but just kind of in general. And feel free to tell me I'm wrong, because I'm still learning.
I do agree. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of issues right now. I don't think the thing is, I don't believe that any of the issues stem from. It's not like you could throw one solution and have everything fixed. You know, I think it's a complex problem, and a lot of people kind of look at it as a simple problem with a simple solution. That being said, obviously, the solution is going to be kind of complex. I mean, just the academy was good. I feel like academy went well. You know, it was a small academy. They ended up taking a limited number, but it seems like what's happening is after people get promoted to officer, kind of like everything just goes out the window, and it just becomes like people hanging out and not necessarily doing their job, which blows my mind because I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'll be the first to engage in some dumb fucking situation, but that being said, there's like a time to lock it up and lock it in. And for whatever reason, I think there's, I don't know if it's like lack of discipline or like commands not following through. I feel like, and like this will stay between me and you, obviously, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm keeping all these conversations private unless you are a member of command.
Okay. I feel like a majority of command, not everyone, is just a fucking. I don't know if it's a talking head, but you know, just like it's like.
Yeah, Big Bob, thank you for the 18 months.
It's like all these issues come up. Passive aggressive shit will come out versus like addressing the problem head on. There's never, as far as scenes go, let's start there. As far as the scene goes, actually, let's go to like comms are absolutely fucking atrocious. I don't. Is this something I should be telling you about?
Yeah. Everything.
Okay.
Everything. Yeah.
I mean,
paint the picture as you see fit.
Okay, so let's just start with comms, right? There's never a designated scene leader. I don't know who I'm listening to on a fucking scene. Along with that, there's never any direction either on the scenes. Like, you know, it's like, hey, like I'm going to take command of the scene. This person needs to do this. This person needs to do this, and this person needs to do that. It's always, is anyone collecting evidence? And then it just ends right there. And it's I guess is the first thing. People not being proactive with their job, which drives me absolutely fucking crazy, because I know 99% of the people in the police department were not appointed their job. They applied for it, and it just seems like, hey, motherfucker, you applied for this job. You should probably do the duties that come along with it. Like, I'm a firm believer in like, hey, if you're not going to do the job, then get the fuck out. That's another one. I mean, people just randomly breaking off of chases without fucking saying anything. Like, that's a common one. Like, you'll be in an active 80 and then all of a sudden somebody will 50 and it's just like, all right, well, where'd that person go? And it's just radio silence. Announcing 10-7 and 10-8 is another one when people are fucking
oh my god
not doing shit versus
Bozar, thank you the gifted sub.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It's kind of like just a few of the things I've picked up. That's just from today. That's just from the last hour and a half.
Jesus. So I'm sort of hearing, can I summarize this by saying people do not give a shit about why they are police officers? They are police officers as a consequence of that is the job that they have taken on, and they're getting paid, and there's no necessary general care beyond that. Would that be accurate?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now the reason I honed in on that is that's sort of the impression I very quickly got, not just by speaking with members of command, but also conversations I've had in the cells. I'm gonna paint you an example, right? As to what I find concerning. I was called down to Mission Row. I was asked to represent a client that had, I don't know what the hell he did. I think he like shot like a propane tank or something like that, possibly injuring officers. Now, demonstratably, if he did all these things, the guy should be locked up for the safety and sanctity of Los Santos, right? Until he's reformed and then gets let out. I don't think any reasonable individual, reasonable being like, you know, let's try to pretend people are reasonable, would want this guy like roaming the streets. But he's currently in the care and custody of the police department. As it turns out, he was actually left in these cells for like upwards of like 40 minutes. Upon returning, this guy apparently had been dying for the past like 25 to 30 minutes. His face was slammed up against the toilet. He had piss everywhere. It was just a disaster. The officer that was responsible was trying to figure out what to do, like trying to wake him up, all these sort of things. And all of a sudden, two other officers arrived, uninvolved, and they were mad over what I can best describe is the embarrassment. There was no concern. There was no shock. It was kind of like a, well, now I got to deal with this. To the extent that they started getting angry at me for being concerned with my client. Now, I don't know about you, but I understand that there are factions within the city. Let's not say factions, but elements within the city that truly do look at things like, you shoot me, I wake up at the hospital, I move on with my day. But the closer we get to that sort of mentality, the more dangerous, the more likely this city falls into an unrecoverable void, you know? And in my mind, the biggest line of defense around that is the police department. And if members of the police department start falling into that hole, well, everything's fucked. That is why, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
I want that to change.
I think some of it falls onto command. It's just I don't know if it's a lack of leadership, but it's just like, kind of like when let me clarify. When I say lack of leadership, I don't mean people in command positions, because I think like we kind of have decent coverage as far as that goes, but it just doesn't seem like people are fucking stepping up to the plate and kind of like taking initiative. Even with that situation, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
all right, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but that just seems kind of like a bad faith thing. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I swear to God, some people, they'll keep spam calling. Give me just 1 second. Nino.
Hey, Nino, I don't want to like sound like I'm criticizing, right? This is constructive. It's Richard.
Okay.
This is constructive criticism. On the website,
how do you have access to a website that hasn't launched yet?
Well, let's retcon this.
Yeah, literally no one other than my head knows about it.
Oh, well, there's spelling mistakes.
Okay, you know your yeah. All right, sorry. Jesus Christ. See, we got bigger issues we got to deal with too, Tyler. You see that? Yeah, you're the only one that I've even vocalized this to.
That's a Hutch kind of weird.
Yeah.
He's back, by the way. Hutch kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah, I ran into him the other day.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was just reading your website, and I think
maybe I should actually just not mention it to anybody else and see how many people land on this.
Yeah, I won't say shit. That'll be funny as hell.
Sorry, where were we?
I can't even remember. I mean, it's just talking about the whole direction of everything, which I guess my concerns are I don't know. It doesn't. Like it seems like there's a lot of issues. Obviously, I'm sure you've heard a ton of gripes, and
Yeah.
then from other officers. But then I think the biggest thing that I see is it's not nipped at the bud. It kind of just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I feel like the focus on disciplining people. That's the other thing is like fucking discipline doesn't feel like discipline. It just is like, hey, fuck you, like a DAP, right? A disciplinary action point. From what I understand, I don't have any, but it almost feels like hey, you fucked up, fuck you,
Yeah.
idiot. Versus like, hey, this is what you did. This is how you correct it. We're gonna keep a record of it, and you're gonna be receiving a DAP for that. Does that make sense?
It does. Let me pretend you're the commissioner for a moment. All right. What do you need from the mayor's office in order to succeed as a police department? 2 things. You get to have 2 things for the next 3 months.
Fuck. Okay. I'm the commissioner. What do I need from the mayor's department? I mean, the biggest thing is like a fucking. This is what I think it is.
Literally anything. Like you literally have control of the entire Los Santos Police Department. And in 2 months, you'll be able to accomplish either right off the bat or over the course of 3 months. You can do 2 things. Whatever those 2 things are.
Fuck, this is gonna sound bad.
He's gonna say Brian Knight.
I have the
Please don't say it.
I have the mayor. Oh man, I don't even think it's
Spit
a
it
mayoral
out.
thing though. So I don't think it's a mayoral thing. I think it's a fucking command thing.
No. Go ahead. Spit it out. Spit it out.
I mean, I like. You have the mayor. I don't even. I'm just gonna say a whole new department with different command. I don't want to say wipe command out and then start fresh because
you want to start an incubator for a new department that starts it right is what I'm
exactly
hearing. Okay. And then what if it gets restructured and removed 3 months into it, despite being successful in breeding very intelligent and effective officers due to politicking by those that don't do shit?
Well, I mean,
except yap in the water cooler all day.
That's bound to happen. I mean, we're cursed with reruns, right? The other thing is, I mean, fuck, you know what would be great as well? Like, I think in internal affairs, not run by the police department. I don't know how you would do that. Maybe it's officers that are IA, but it's run by the mayor and kind of like the whole
like the civilian oversight committee. Except, do you know that? Are you familiar with that? By the way,
I know that exists. Yeah, I know. It's is it Archie Archer?
Yeah. Well, it was. So I'm gonna give you some insight, and I'm not expecting you like agree with my POV and whatnot. But I think that entire council was entirely fucking useless over the course of 7 months. I think the only copium that can, infer otherwise, enjoyed from the fruits of the dictatorship. I mean, let's put things into perspective. An individual was democratically elected into a position, a city council that inherently was not a representative democracy, given that 3/4 of it was state elected positions. And subsequently, we had legislation, the bulk of which was restrictive and not of individual rights, many of which did not actually abide by the Constitution, which is part of the reason why some of those pieces of legislation are being thrown out. whom then took control of the military wing of the city, the closest thing to it, and then began to pass laws that personally benefited their person. And this included bringing in other members of the council that represented the government, including the Chief Justice. Now, in any other reality outside of Los Santos, that is a target for the United States to attack, or one to work with to benefit off oil resources. So,
yeah, I don't know anything about the commissioner, the mayor before that. I don't like Crane. Crane Senior, that is.
Yeah, well, Crane's out. He was caught signing off on legislation written by other justices and claiming it to be his own. That doesn't
really.
Yeah, I've actually got evidence of it. Yeah, he would just rewrite it in his own words. Yeah, pretty crazy, pretty insane.
Well.
But so where I'm kind of going with this is there hasn't really been much development in that legislative space, and the thing that I've been trying to convey to officers is this is my like kind of visualization of it, is that as law enforcement, your job is to serve and protect and ensure that people are not acting outside of the outside of the law, right? And that's when you arrest them, etc., etc. But if the law itself is exceptionally gray and restrictive, you effectively have to put people in for things that they inherently feel wrong about. Oh shit.
I'll see you,
Tsunami. You want to wake up over here? Are you going to the meeting, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'll call you after the meeting.
Dude. All right, let me take a look at this. Oh my god, dude. Anyone have a clip? Anyone have a clip of Richard? Oh my god, that shit was funny.